It's now time to start building our About page. Let's go to the index page and copy one of the layers we used here. I'll click on this layer, right click on it and select copy. I'll come back to my About page, right click on an empty space and select paste. I'll move it a little bit to the top and change the size of it. I'll come to my property inspector, and in this case I'm going to change it to 955 pixels by 50 pixels. I'll hit on enter. So it takes effect correctly. I'll copy this layer using either Ctrl+C or right clicking on it and selecting copy. I'll use Ctrl+V to paste it. Then I change the size of it again. This time around it is going to be 650 pixels. Sorry, 300 pixels by 500 pixels. I'll move it closely to the top one and move it 6 pixels away from the top layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 using the down arrow key. Now let's bring in a carousel. I'll go back to the index page and copy this carousel using Ctrl+C. I'll come back to the About page and paste it. We are going to maintain the size of the carousel. Let's move it a little bit above to this position, and let's move it a little bit to the left to align at the right edge of the top layer. Now let's go ahead and copy the top layer here. Right click on it, select copy, and let's paste it here. I'm going to use Ctrl+V to paste it. Let's move it to hit the edges of the object we have here, and let's move it 6 pixels away from them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 using the keyboard down arrow key. Now we are going to add a very special object in our project. Let's go to the toolbox under images. Let's select photo gallery. Click on it and draw on an empty space in the canvas. Let's go ahead to change the size of it. In this case, it's going to be 235 by 200 pixels. Hit on enter. Double click the photo gallery object, and under general, where you have images, click on add. I'm going to use this image, and you can go ahead and use any image you want to use. Hit on open, and where you have your options, under the thumbnail size, click on the drop down arrow and select compactable. Where you have horizontal align, click on the drop down arrow and leave it at center. Where the vertical align is, click on the drop down arrow and select center. Where you have your maintain aspect ratio, uncheck it and check generate thumbnail images. This is very important aspect of our photo gallery. Where you have your behavior, click on the drop down arrow and select Lightbox. Lightbox is simply going to make the images open in a pop-up window or in a light box. Go ahead and click on OK to make sure the image has taken effect. Double click back in, come to style, and under frame, let's change the width to 3 pixels. Hit on OK to give it a very nice black border here. Move it to hit the layer above it and move it 6 pixels away from that layer. Now let's copy this photo gallery image. Right click on it, selecting copy, using Ctrl+V, paste it here. Let's move it above so that they be in the same line. Let's paste it again 4 times. We will need that image 4 times, so I'm going to go ahead and paste it for the last time. I'll move it to hit the edge of this layer, and I'll go ahead to align them for them to have equal spacing. I'll click on this, hitting on the shift key. I'll click on this image, click on this and click on this. I'll go to arrange, and where I have distribute, I'll hit on horizontally, and this gives me equal spacing in between the image gallery. I'll go ahead and copy the layer object here and paste it down here. I'll go ahead and change the size of it. In this case, it is going to be 235 pixels by 150 pixels. I'll hit on enter. I'll move it to hit the edge of this gallery image and move it 3 pixels away from it. 1, 2, 3. I'll copy it and paste it here. I'll repeat it 2 more times. For the last time. So our About page is beginning to take form as well. Now let's highlight and select all the objects and move them to the center of the page. Using Ctrl+A, I select all. Moving your cursor to any of the objects, I have moved mine to the carousel tool. Click on it, holding on the left mouse click. Move it a little bit to the right, and when you see the guide showing that it is positioned to the center, just release it. Now let's take a look at the other pages and go ahead and build them as well.